Chase at the 40. Look at that move. Look at Chase go. Oh, my goodness. What a gear.
He comes down to this in his car end zone. Intercepted.
McPherson. And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
Cross here. Nixon's going to throw. Open man. Caught. Higgins. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Joe Burrow has his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Hooday, Bengal fans. He is Maan. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our victorious Cincinnati Bengals. Maan. Wow. What an incredible game. Did this not remind you of all three of the playoff wins last year? I mean, unreal. Defense makes a big stop at the end. It just playoff football, man. What else can you say, Mon?
Yeah, so much to talk about. I would like to have a game in the playoffs that's not a nail biter like this. I'm going to tell you right now, I am so glad that we don't have to play the Ravens again. I think the Bengals offense is glad that they don't have to play the Ravens defense again.
Agreed.
Listen, they are thumpers. That's a good defense. And, I'm glad, we had just enough to get through it. It wasn't the prettiest thing. It's a win on the Buffalo. And, hey, man, one game at a time, and let's get to the Super Bowl.
Well, I will tell you that this celebratory ice cream cake. Now, for our listeners, after every big win here at Mon's house, we break open an ice cream cake, and this one has not – I don't know if one has ever tasted as good as this one. Again, just unbelievable. The Sam Hubbard play, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. By the way, we saw right before we went on air. Again, the game just ended about 5 minutes ago, but right before we went on air, we saw that is the longest fumble return for a touchdown in the postseason in NFL history. Not just for the Bengals, but in NFL history, the longest return. And again, three of our big-time defensive guys make big plays on that one play. Logan Wilson stops the ball in its tracks. Jermaine Pratt gets a hand on it, knocks it out, falls into Sam Hubbard's hands, and 98 yards later, just unreal. That kind of stuff does not happen for our Bengals. And I don't know. After that play, I felt pretty good about the way the game was going to end. But again, it comes down to the defense making another big stop. And defensively, we struggled a little bit today. I think some of those bounces didn't go our way. There were some missed tackles, some blown coverages, some stuff that we really didn't see last year in those three playoff games. But when we needed the defense came through and made just, again, I think one of the biggest plays in Bengals postseason history, might be the biggest. I'm with you, man. I'm glad we're not seeing the Ravens again. Their offense isn't very good, but that defense is respectable. Again, we saw some cheap shots early on from some of their guys, but those guys are thumpers. They come downhill fast. And they made it very difficult for this Bengals offense, Mom.
They did. And listen, that play by Hubbard is easily the play of the year for the Bengals, if not the play of the last 10 years. It turned the game. It won the game for us. Listen, this is a Bengals podcast. We're not Raven fans. The Ravens have replaced the Steelers as the team I dislike the most. I can't stand them. But I got to tell you something right now. Every yard the Bengals earned today was tough. Those guys, listen, they did not make it easy, and I salute them. Yeah, they play borderline dirty, but they were hitting our guys. They were trying to get those turnovers. They were putting pressure. Burrow sacked 4 or 5 times today. And listen, our offense, we had that 24-17 lead. They had the ball 3 more times, and they didn't do anything. They didn't get a first down.
Yeah.
And that was because of that tough Ravens defense. They were all in. And so, it's just hats off to them. I'm glad we won one game at a time. Let's go on to Buffalo. Jake, let's go through the stats.
Okay, let's go through it. Man, that was good ice cream cake. Okay, here we go. Joe Burrow, 23 of 32, 209 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 4 times. Joe Mixon, 11 carries, 39 yards. Once again, Mom, we've talked about it over and over. The Bengals run game has got to get better. They have 3 more games to win to be Super Bowl champs, and they have got to figure out how to establish this run game. 18 carries for 51 yards total. They did have the rushing touchdown by Burrow, but again, we have got to run the football better, Mon. Receiving, Jamar Chase, another big game against the Ravens. 9 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Hayden Hurst, 4 catches for 45 yards, a big one there to set up that touchdown. T. Higgins, 4 for 37. Tyler Boyd, 3 for 26. Joe Mixon, 3 for 17. But again, not a lot of big plays from this Bengal offense. So kudos again to the Ravens defense for really holding this Bengals offense in check. Jamar Chase with the biggest play of 19 yards. So again, not those explosive plays that we're used to seeing. Hayden Hurst also had a big fumble. That was one that set up that field goal at the end of the half. But again, that's another situation where the Bengals defense, I think it was 1st and goal for maybe the 4-yard line. Bengals defense holds right before the half and makes them kick a field goal. Logan Wilson, leading tackler, 10 tackles tonight. Jesse Bates throws in 9, another solid day for Jesse Bates. Jermaine Pratt with 8. And again, I'm not sure who they're going to give the fumble cause to, but I think it's Jermaine Pratt. Again, Logan Wilson has his hands on the ball, but Jermaine Pratt really knocks it free. B.J. Hill, my midseason MVP on defense, B.J. Hill with a big game today. Obviously, that sack towards the end of the game was huge, but that play where he ran down Huntley was so impressive. So B.J. Hill, another big game. And again, Zach Carter, we are watching the maturation of, I think he is going to end up being a great Cincinnati Bengals. Zach Carter with another big day as well. Mike Hilton had the other Bengals sack, a good one there by Mike. But again, no play bigger than we left out too. Akeem Davis-Gaither with an interception. Yeah, that was a big interception. Set up the Bengals' first touchdown. So big play by Akeem Davis-Gaither. But once again, man, you know that big play, Sam Hubbard fumble recovery was just incredible. And again, another guy that I keep throwing out kudos to, and that's Drew Chrisman. This guy, again, 3 punts today, 151 yards. That's over a 50-yard average. 2 of them inside the 20 again, Mon. This guy, he has become a very, very good weapon on Bengals special teams. His longest of 53 yards. Evan McPherson 1 for 1 for field goals, 1 for 2 for extra points. And of course, T. Higgins with the big 2-point conversion. That's the numbers, Mon. That's the stats. What do you think? Anything jump out at you?
No, like I said earlier, every yard was tough. Every catch was challenged. It was not easy. And, like I said, hats off to the Ravens and their defense. But, listen, concerned a little bit about, the run game. We harped on it last week. We harped on it during the Tampa game. Things are just, it has to get better. We don't expect the Bengals to be a 25, 30, 40-yard attempt rush team a game. It's not going to happen, but they got to be better than what they are. And, I know there's some flux there with the offensive line. We had injuries with Jonah Williams. I fully expect Isaiah Prince to get called up this week. So, at least some of the reserves that are in there, listen, they struggled a little bit tonight, but they have multiple NFL starts, on the resume. So, they're not some guys off the street that have never played. So, that's a little bit of a positive there. But, I am a little concerned. I tell you, Joe was under a lot of pressure today. And the offense everything was really contested. And listen, they're going to go into Buffalo next week, play a good offense. The Ravens offense is limited. I mean, listen, that quarterback isn't very good. They came in with one agenda to run the ball and run. And guess what? They did it.
Yep.
Hats off to their coaching staff. They came in, and the Bengals knew it. After that fumble return by Hubbard, Jake, they really, the defense, I thought, got some energy, and they started playing a lot better. Got some key stops there. That last drive was a little nerve-wracking. But you called it. Other people were talking about it on social media. The Bengals just didn't seem to have a lot of energy on defense.
No, they didn't.
And in the first first half.
Really, the first half,
yeah,
right?
It just looked like, they're hesitant. A couple times, like Jermaine Pratt looked like he was skipping instead of going into the hole on run plays. And I don't know. They just looked a little lethargic out there. Maybe it was the game plan. They were expecting bootlegs, maybe the quarterback to run like Lamar. But, hey, we got the win on the Buffalo. Let's get healthy. And you know what? We had a good game plan for Buffalo before that tragic night on Monday Night Football. And I'm looking forward to that. And I think we have a time for that game, right?
We do. It's going to be – they just released it 3 p.m. on Sunday. 3 p.m. on Sunday. I believe that's the early game. So that'll be the early game on Sunday again at Buffalo. Miami almost pulled off the upset. Man, oh man! If Miami could have won that football game, we are looking at another home game for the Bengals. It didn't happen, so we got to go in, take care of business in Buffalo, and good luck, Jacksonville Jaguars. We need you guys to come through for us, Maan. If I would have told you before kickoff that the Baltimore Ravens would outgain us 364 to what is that, 234, and we would win by a touchdown, would you believe that?
No. I mean, listen, I'm not surprised. 250, 275, that's what I was expecting by our offense, because, listen, the Ravens are tough, but yeah, I tell you, they had a couple explosive plays.
Yeah, they did.
To the touchdown pass. And, like I said, I'm glad the defense came up with that big fumble return for a touchdown, because that was the key to the game. And they did play better in the fourth quarter. Got some key stops, couple sacks. Man, it was a tough game. It is AFC North football. The Ravens, man, I'm telling you right now, they have a lot of good players. They play smash mouth football. And, we took it on the chin today, but we got that victory, and enjoy the couch, Baltimore.
Except for Marcus Peters. I mean, that guy's such a clown.
Oh, he is.
I mean, what a clown. What a classless, just a punk. Yeah. I mean, again, he throws a punch on Joe Mixon. That should have been, that's usually an ejection, right? Throwing a punch. I think that's an ejection, but
he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He's a punk.
You know what, Jake? I want to tell you something. At the end of the first quarter, the sideline reporter for NBC, I guess she interviewed Harbaugh, but during the commercial break, he's so condescending. He's such a jackbutt. I'm telling you, man, the guy is just rude. He thinks he's the smartest man in football. Listen, again, he's a good football coach. He got his team ready to play tonight on the road in front of 68,000 people. Hey, man, hats off to you, but you're a jerk, and he was. It was rude, and I'm telling you, man, just come on. And I tell you what, how about the last drive, man? He literally burned 40 seconds. I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know what he was doing.
With Jericho and Collinsworth are like, what's wrong with this guy? And
well, I think that I'll say this, Maan.
I'm glad he did it, by the way.
Well, first of all, with 2 timeouts left, again, I agree with you. I'm not understanding why he burned so much time. But honestly, man, that's the Joe Burrow effect. When you have a quarterback that is elite like Joe Burrow, you do everything in your power not to give him the ball back. And that's the Joe Burrow effect. Again, you see that with teams that, play those elite quarterbacks. You see what happens. You can't give these guys 13 seconds without them getting in field goal range. And I think that is a big part of it. Again, I don't understand it. I don't understand why, because if you don't score, you lose anyway. Yeah. So I don't understand the concept of that. Being a coach myself, I'm trying to score. I'm not worried about that. So, and let me say this, Maan. Again, I'm not saying that I'm not taking any credit for this victory, But once again, just like last year, for the 3 playoff games, I go outside for the last 4 minutes of the game. Let me tell you something, listeners. This is how much of a Bengal fan I am. I was out there standing in 30-degree weather in short sleeve shirt, watching through Maan's window because that is what I did last year. And the Bengals make another big play. Maan, again, I'm not taking credit for the win, but I like to feel that I have something involved with the victory tonight.
Hey, Bengal fans, Bengals Pulse fans. We live on the Space Coast of Florida, and it is 30, 35 degrees right now. And he was out there. I'm like, this guy's crazy. But we did it last year for the playoffs, and it worked. Listen, I want to go back a few minutes.
Let me say this real quick, too, on that real quick.
And he wanted ice cream after the game.
Well, I tried to come in, but your brother Marvin would not let me in the house. That is where we've got. That's where we've gotten with this thing. It has become like a ritual. The last 4 minutes of these playoff games, I go outside, and I am standing out by this big oak tree in the front of Maan's yard, watching the game, and they will not let me back inside. They lock me out.
The Titan game last year where Logan Wilson picked off the ball. He's outside. He's trying to come in. My brother yells at him, "No, you stay outside." Right
He did that tonight.
I know. It was
Twice.
hilarious.
He wouldn't let me in.
Listen, I want to go back and talk about the third quarter.
Right.
That drive by the Bengals offense, that was the best they looked all night.
Yes.
Joe Burrow had a clean
That was a
pocket,
big
and he
drive.
picked them apart. Listen,
A big
that's
drive.
the key. We got to keep him in a clean pocket. I know it's hard. We got some backups in there. The Ravens know that. The Ravens knew, like, listen, we have to make him uncomfortable. We got to put hands on him. We got to get pressure on him because it's over if they don't. It's over, and they know that. I want to say one other thing. His teammate from LSU cheap shot at him going out of bounds, going for his legs.
Yeah.
That was dirty, and I tell you what, I was stunned by that. That was ridiculous. And hey, man, we'll see you next year, Baltimore. You guys played tough, but
Enjoy the couch, right?
Better team won. Better team won.
Enjoy
and
the
I don't
couch.
want to hear excuses. Injuries this, injuries that. You know what? I don't want to hear it.
Nope.
Because nobody cared when the Bengals were hurt. It is what it is.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. And obviously, we just started filming, so we haven't heard anything about Jonah Williams. Obviously, this offensive line, Maan, that was so healthy throughout the entire year. Now we're getting into the last 3 games of the season, and it's getting a little thin. And I think this is a little bit of cause of concern, like you said. Isaiah Prince probably coming up. Jackson Carman didn't play bad. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the film again, but I didn't think Jackson Carman played bad. But this Bengals offensive line now is starting to look like that one that was kind of thrown together for the Super Bowl. And I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. Again, we've been healthy all year. We've gotten lucky with that all year. And now we're starting to see these last 3 games losing a starter every single game. It's not a good trend, Maan, especially at that position.
It's not. Listen, Isaiah Prince will be back. I wouldn't be surprised potentially if he goes to right tackle because he had multiple starts there last year. Adeniji was our backup left tackle. There might be, if Jonah is out for a while, like we said, we don't know yet. That'll be coming up later on in the week. That'll be on our next show. But, Sharping looked like a guy that hasn't played a lot of football. He has 33 NFL starts. DeAndre Smith has been on the roster all year. So, listen, they do have some guys that, are going to come in that have NFL snaps. Is it going to be a drop-off? Absolutely. But listen, these guys are going to have to get coached up. Our offensive line was worse last year. We made it to the Super Bowl, still better than it is now. I wouldn't be surprised. This is just Maan talking. Karras did play a lot of guard the last few years. Maybe have him at right guard potentially and have Trey Hill come in and play center. He could help Trey Hill out with the calls and everything that the center needs to do. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just potentially just thinking, at least both guard spots would be really solid. He could help out the right tackle also if needed. I don't know. I trust the coaching staff. They're gonna get something going there. I will say this: that Buffalo Bills don't have the pass rush that the Ravens have.
Well, that's what I was about to say, Maan. We the 4 of us, me, you, and Marvin and Justin, we talked about this after the game. We're not going to see another defense as good as that one the rest of the way.
Maybe San Fran in the Super Bowl if we make it that far.
Well, maybe San Fran. I'm not sure they're going to make it that far.
Capo will be back by then.
But I again, we're not going to see these other AFC teams that are left, the Jags, Kansas City, Buffalo. We are not going to see the same type of defense that we saw tonight. And not only that, but it's AFC North football. I mean, it is a grind to win these football games. And I feel good about getting through this one because, again, I don't think we're going to see that same type of defense. We saw it. Kansas City, we went right up and down the field. Jacksonville, obviously, again, I'm not trying to sound condescending to the Jaguars, but that's not a team that strikes fear in your heart. And Buffalo, before that tragic event happened on Monday Night Football, Joe Burrow was cooking. I mean, we were going those first two drives, we're going down the field as quickly as you could count to three. So, again, I'm glad this one's over because I don't think we're going to see – and you know what else we're not going to see, Mon? We're not going to see a team that has this good of a running game unless, like you said, we run into the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So that makes me feel good too because this smash mouth football is pretty tough.
Well, the Bills can run the ball, especially with their quarterback. The quarterback is their main guy.
But it's not power football. It's a different type. It's an inside-outside zone. We're not going to see a lot of power football.
Well, our show we'll dissect the Bills a little bit more. But again, today, we did talk about them before the Monday night game. And we talked about how their quarterback was susceptible to turnovers. He had 3 today, I believe.
3 today.
And listen, the guy, he can make that wow throw, that wow play. Like, wow, that guy's amazing. But he also makes that knucklehead, boneheaded play. Yeah. And you know what? We'll get more into that later in the week. But good win. And, hey, Joe Burrow is 4-1 in the playoffs.
And by the way, Mon, not only is he 4-1, but those 4 wins are the most by a Cincinnati Bengals quarterback in postseason history. So congratulations, Joe Burrow. And only, Mon, his 3rd year. He is the most winning quarterback in Bengals history in the postseason. Again, you said it about Josh Allen. I feel very good if what's his name? Skylar Thompson. Is that the Dolphins quarterback's name?
Yeah.
I think Skylar Thompson. If he can go into Buffalo and almost pull out a win. Again, this Bills defense does not scare me. They gave up 31 points today, Mon. Like you said, Josh Allen turning the football over. If you can survive the Bills' first couple of punches, you got a chance. And you saw it today with the Dolphins. They survived that first wave of swings, and the Dolphins really should have won the football game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was something that I was really surprised. I didn't expect it to be close, but listen, you can say the teams that play next week at 3:00 on Sunday, both of them are leaking a little bit of oil.
Yeah,
the Bills are, and we are too. So,
yeah.
Their offensive line is banged up. It's not stellar. I want a rebound game from our defense. I want a rebound game from Eli Apple. He gave up that big touchdown. I want
he had
Dax
a rough
Hill
night.
off of special teams. I want Dax Hill off of special teams.
Yeah, he had a rough night.
Listen, we need a rebound game there. And, I want that physicality to come back because, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, the Ravens muscled us today. They really did. They really did. And it's going to be epic next week. It's going to be one hell of a game, and I cannot wait.
That's going to be exciting. Now, Bengal Pulse listeners, our show is going to be a little delayed at the end of the week. So instead of being on Friday, we will be on Saturday, the day before the Bills game, and we will preview that game as well. Like you said, Mon, I am very excited about this matchup. I think all Bengal fans are because, again, we've heard all the talk. And now we're going to get an opportunity to play this football game. I'm going to throw this out here. It should be in a neutral site, Mon. This football game should be in a neutral site. We can't control that. But, again, you're just going to have to explain to me why this game is not being played at a neutral site. It is what it is. We got to go to Buffalo. But I love what Sam Hubbard said at the end of the game tonight. He said, I love going on the road with this team. This team is road tested. They were road tested last year. And I don't know, Mon. I still feel very good with our offense against this Bills defense. And that's going to be the matchup. And we will talk about that more coming up on Saturday. Mon, Hey, it's still a big win. A win is a win. It was ugly, but it's a win, right?
I'll take it.
All right, Bengal fans. If you liked this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this podcast. Make sure you give Maan and I that 5-star review. We very much appreciate it. Check us out on all the podcast platforms, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple. Again, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Bengals_Pulse9. On Instagram, the same without the @ Bengals_Pulse9. And make sure you check out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Wincinnati Podcast Network. He is Maan. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse. Hoo-day, Bengal fans. We will see you on Saturday.
Goodbye, Baltimore.
Bye, Baltimore.